The space station floated in the dark between stars. It was called Unity Point, a place where many alien species came together to trade and talk. The station was huge, with metal walls that curved in strange ways. Lights blinked along the corridors, and the air smelled like recycled oxygen mixed with something chemical. Gina walked through the main corridor with her head down. She was human, one of only 5 humans on the entire station. Her black hair was tied back in a simple ponytail, and she wore the gray uniform that all workers had to wear. She was 23 years old and had been on Unity Point for 6 months now. 6 months of feeling like everyone was watching her. The aliens stared. They always stared. A Velcro merchant pulled his 3 younglings closer as she passed. His blue skin turned darker, which meant he was afraid. Gina pretended not to notice. She had learned that was easier. The Velcro were tall and thin with 4 arms. They were supposed to be smart traders, but they treated humans like bombs that might explode. Further down the corridor, a group of Threen workers stopped their conversation. Their large eyes followed Gina until she turned a corner. The Threen had gray skin and spoke in musical tones. They were usually friendly to everyone. Everyone except humans. Gina had tried to understand why. She had read the Galactic Council files that were available to humans. Earth had only joined the galactic community 2 years ago. The other species had been traveling through space for thousands of years, some for even longer. But humans were new, and the galaxy was afraid of them. She reached the cafeteria and got her meal. The food was bland but edible. Protein paste with synthetic vegetables. She sat alone at a table in the corner. This was normal. No one ever sat with the humans. Across the cafeteria, her friend Hyan sat with the other 3 humans. He waved at her. Hyan was 28 and worked in the engine room. Next to him were Minji and Taiyang, both engineers too. The 4th human, Yuna, worked in medical. They were eating together and talking quietly. Gina knew she could join them, but today she wanted to be alone with her thoughts. She ate slowly and watched the other species interact. A Velcro family laughed together. A group of Threen shared food from their plates. A Quoloth, with its 6 legs and hard shell, joined a table full of other Quoloth. Everyone had their own kind. Everyone belonged somewhere, except humans. After eating, Gina disposed of her tray and walked toward the observation deck. She liked going there when her shift ended. The observation deck had a large window that showed the stars. It was usually empty because most species did not care much about looking at empty space. But today was different. Today, the observation deck was crowded. Aliens of every type filled the space. They were all gathered around the window, looking down at something below. Gina heard them talking in their various languages. The translation device in her ear worked hard to keep up. "Is it still there?" a Velcro asked. "Yes, the cage has not moved," a Threen answered. "I cannot believe the council brought it here," another voice said. Jina pushed through the crowd slowly. The aliens moved away from her quickly, creating a path. She tried not to feel hurt by their fear. When she reached the window, she looked down. Below the observation deck, in a large hangar bay, sat an enormous cage. The cage was made of some kind of energy field that glowed blue. It was at least 10 meters tall and 20 meters wide. Inside the cage, she could see movement, but the blue energy made it hard to see clearly. "What is that?" Gina asked out loud. The aliens near her went quiet. They looked at her with their various types of eyes. Finally, an old Threen with white markings spoke. His voice was gentle but scared. "It is a predator," the old Threen said. "The most dangerous predator ever discovered. The council captured it on a death world 3 months ago." Gina felt her heart beat faster. "What kind of predator?" The old Threen's skin turned pale. "We do not know its species name. The world it came from is forbidden now. The council lost 47 soldiers capturing just this one creature. It killed them with its bare hands. It is fast and strong and smart. Too smart. Why bring it here? Gina asked. The council wants to study it, a young Velcrin said. They want to understand what makes it so dangerous. They think it might help them understand other apex predators. The crowd murmured in agreement. Gina looked back down at the cage. She could see a shape moving inside. It paced back and forth like an animal in a zoo. Has anyone tried to communicate with it? Gina asked. The aliens looked at each other. Finally, the old Threen spoke again. 3 scientists tried. Velcrin scientists. They used robots to approach the cage. The creature destroyed the robots. It made sounds, but we could not translate them. The council believes it might not have language. Just animal instincts. Gina felt something twist in her stomach. An apex predator from a death world. A creature so dangerous that the council lost 47 soldiers to catch it. A creature that destroyed robots and could not be understood. She pressed her hand against the window and looked down at the blue cage. Maybe it is scared, Gina said quietly. The aliens gasped. Several of them moved even further away from her. Scared? The old Threen said. That thing kills without mercy. It is not capable of fear. It only knows violence. Everything gets scared, Gina said. Even predators. Not that one, a Velcrin said firmly. You do not understand human. That creature is rage itself. It attacked the moment it saw our soldiers. It never stopped fighting. Even after they stunned it 17 times, it kept trying to attack. It is mindless violence in a body. Gina watched the shape pace inside the cage. Back and forth. Back and forth. It never stopped moving. Her communication device beeped. It was a station-wide message. The Galactic Council was making an announcement. Every screen in the observation deck lit up with the same message. A Threen Council member appeared on the screens. Its face was serious. Attention all station residents, the council member said. We are conducting an important scientific study. We need volunteers to help us understand the apex predator in Hangar Bay 7. Any species may volunteer. The volunteer will enter a safe observation room near the cage. You will observe the creature and report its behaviors. This is important for galactic safety. The screens went dark. The observation deck was completely silent. No one moved. No one spoke. Then, slowly, aliens began to leave. They walked away from the window quickly. Some almost ran. Within 2 minutes, the observation deck was nearly empty. Only Gina remained, looking down at the blue cage. The old Threen who had spoken to her earlier stopped at the doorway. He looked back at her. Do not do anything foolish, human, the old Threen said. That creature will kill you if given the chance. Do not let your curiosity become your death. Then he left too. Gina stood alone at the window. She watched the shape pace back and forth inside the blue energy field. Back and forth. Back and forth. Never stopping. Never resting. Something about it felt familiar to her. Something about the way it moved. The way it never gave up trying to find a way out. She touched the communication panel on her wrist and opened a channel to the council. This is Gina Kim, she said clearly. I volunteer. The council chamber was cold and formal. Gina sat in a chair that was too big for her body. It had been made for Velcrin, who were much taller than humans. Her feet barely touched the floor. Around her, 5 council members sat at a curved table. 2 Threen, 2 Velcrin, and 1 Koloth. They all looked at her with expressions she had learned to read over the past months. Concern, confusion, fear. You understand what you are volunteering for? The lead Threen council member asked. His name was Vorn, and he had purple markings on his gray skin. This is not a simple task. I understand, Gina said. I will observe the creature and report what I see. The creature is extremely dangerous, Warren continued. We will have a force field between you and the cage at all times. You will be in a secure observation room, but we cannot guarantee your complete safety. If the creature breaks containment, you might die. I understand, Gina repeated. That one of the Velcrin council members leaned forward. Her name was Kalith, and her blue skin was very dark, almost purple. She spoke in a voice that shook slightly. Why would you volunteer for this? Kalith asked. Your species has been on this station for months. You keep to yourselves. You avoid interaction. Why suddenly risk your life? Gina thought about the question carefully. Why had she volunteered? She was not sure herself. Maybe it was because she was tired of being feared. Maybe it was because she understood what it felt like to be in a cage. Maybe it was simple curiosity. Someone has to do it, Gina finally said. And everyone else is too afraid. The council members exchanged looks. The Koloth, whose name was Drenth, made a clicking sound with his mandibles. You are either very brave or very foolish, Drenth said. Maybe both, Gina answered with a small smile. Warren tapped his fingers on the table. Very well. We will begin the observation tomorrow at first light cycle. You will report to Hangar Bay 7 at 0600 hours. Bring nothing with you. You will be scanned for weapons and devices. Do you agree to these terms? I agree, Gina said. Then you are dismissed, Warren said. And human, be careful. Gina left the council chamber and walked back toward the human quarters. Her mind was racing. She had just agreed to get close to something the entire galaxy feared. Something that had killed 47 soldiers. Something they called mindless violence. When she reached the human quarters, Hyan was waiting outside her door. He looked angry and worried at the same time. Are you insane? Hyan asked immediately. Minji just told me what you did. You volunteered to go near that thing? Yes, Gina said simply. Why? Hyan grabbed her shoulders gently. Gina, that creature kills. The council said it destroyed their soldiers. Why would you put yourself in danger? Because I want to know what it is, Gina said. She moved past him and opened her door. Hyan followed her inside. The room was small and plain. A bed, a desk, a bathroom. Not much else. Gina sat on the bed and Hyan sat at the desk chair. He ran his hands through his black hair, a gesture she knew meant he was stressed. We need to stick together, Hyan said. We are only 5 humans on this entire station. If something happens to you, nothing will happen, Gina said. There will be a force field. I will be safe. You do not know that, Hyan argued. These aliens do not understand that creature. How can they keep you safe from something they fear so much? Gina looked at her friend. Hyan had been kind to her since she arrived. He had helped her learn the station rules and had always made sure she was okay. She knew he cared. I have to do this, Gina said softly. I cannot explain why, but I need to see what that creature is. I need to understand why they fear it so much. Hyan sighed deeply. Fine, but I am coming with you tomorrow. I will wait outside the hangar. If anything happens, I will be there. Okay, Gina agreed. Thank you. Hyan left after making her promise to be careful 3 more times. Gina lay on her bed and stared at the ceiling. Sleep did not come easily that night. The next morning, Gina woke before her alarm. She showered and dressed in clean gray uniform. Her hands shook slightly as she tied her hair back. She was nervous, but also excited. She could not explain the feeling. Hyan was waiting outside her door, just as he promised. They walked together to Hangar Bay 7. The corridors were mostly empty at this early hour. Only a few maintenance workers were around, and they all stared at Gina when they saw where she was heading. When they reached the hangar bay entrance, a Threen security officer stopped them. He looked at his tablet and then at Gina. "You are the volunteer?" the officer asked. "Yes," Gina said. "Only the volunteer may enter," the officer said, looking at Hyan. "I will wait here," Hyan said. He squeezed Gina's shoulder. "Be safe." The security officer scanned Gina with multiple devices. He checked for weapons, recording equipment, and anything else that might be forbidden. When he was satisfied, he opened the door. "Walk straight ahead," the officer instructed. "The observation room is to the right of the main cage. Council members are already inside watching. Do exactly what they tell you. Do not touch anything. Do not try to open any doors. Understood?" "Understood," Gina said. She walked into the hangar bay. It was enormous, much larger than it had looked from the observation deck above. The ceiling was at least 30 meters high. The blue energy cage sat in the center of the room, glowing with steady light. Around it, various monitoring equipment blinked, and HUMMED dot to the right of the cage. Just as the officer said, was a small observation room. It had transparent walls made of something stronger than glass. Gina could see the council members inside, along with several Threen scientists wearing white coats. They all watched as she approached. Gina entered the observation room through a doorway that sealed behind her with a hiss. The room was small, maybe 3 meters by 3 meters. One wall was the transparent material facing the corridor. The opposite wall faced the cage directly. There was a single chair and a computer console. Varan, the lead council member, spoke to her through a speaker. "Welcome, Gina Kim," Varan said. "Please sit. We will begin the observation now." Gina sat in the chair. From this position, she had a clear view of the blue energy cage. It was only 10 meters away. She could see inside much better than from the observation deck, and what she saw made her freeze. The creature inside was pacing, back and forth, back and forth. It was tall, maybe 180 centimeters. It had 2 arms and 2 legs. It wore torn clothing that looked like it had once been some kind of uniform. Its skin was tan, darker in some places where bruises showed. Its hair was dark brown and messy, falling past its shoulders. The creature was humanoid. Very humanoid. Too humanoid. Gina leaned forward in her chair, staring hard. The creature's movements were familiar. The way it walked. The way it held its shoulders. The shape of its face. "That is not an alien predator," Gina said slowly. "What?" Varan asked through the speaker. "That is a human," Gina said, her voice getting louder. "That is a human being in that cage." The council chamber erupted in noise. The council members talked over each other in multiple languages. Gina stood up from her chair and pressed her hands against the transparent wall. "Let her out," Gina shouted. "You caged a human. Let her out right now." "Calm yourself," Varan commanded. "That creature cannot be human. Humans are like you, peaceful, small, weak. We are not weak," Gina said angrily. "And that is a human woman in that cage. Can you not see? She has 2 arms, 2 legs, a human face. She's wearing human clothes." One of the Threen scientists spoke up nervously. "The creature does match human physical characteristics. But humans are not apex predators. Humans are not dangerous." "You put her in a cage and she fought back," Gina said. "Anyone would fight back. You killed 47 of your soldiers, so she defended herself. That does not make her a mindless killer. That makes her someone who wants to survive." The woman in the cage suddenly stopped pacing. She turned her head toward the observation room, toward Gina. Their eyes met through the layers of energy, field and transparent wall. The woman's eyes were brown and full of anger and fear and hope all at once. Gina put her hand flat against the transparent wall. The woman in the cage put her hand up too, mirroring Gina's gesture, even though many meters and 2 barriers separated them. "Please," Gina said to the council. "Let me talk to her. Let me prove she is human." The council argued for 20 minutes. Gina stood at the transparent wall and watched the woman in the cage. The woman watched her back. Neither of them moved. Neither of them looked away. It was like they were connected by an invisible thread. Finally, Varen's voice came through the speaker again. "We will allow you to attempt communication," Varen said. "But the barriers will remain. If the creature shows any aggression, we will end the observation immediately." "She is not a creature," Gina said firmly. "Her name is—" "What is your name?" Gina spoke loudly, hoping the woman could hear her through the barriers. The woman tilted her head and opened her mouth. She said something, but no sound reached Gina. The energy field blocked it. "We cannot hear her," one of the scientists said. "The containment field blocks all sound." "Then turn on the speakers," Gina demanded. "You have monitoring equipment. You must have audio." The scientists worked at their consoles. After a moment, a crackling sound filled the observation room. Then a voice came through. A human voice, female, rough and tired and angry. "My name is Hana Park," the woman said in Korean. "I am from Seoul, South Korea, Earth. I am a planetary scout for the Earth Expeditionary Force. Serial number 7-4-9-2-3. I have been held captive for 97 days. Gina felt her heart clench. She answered in Korean, knowing the woman would understand. "My name is Gina Kim," Gina said. "I am also from Earth. I work on this station. We are going to get you out." Hannah's expression changed. The anger softened. The fear eased. For a moment she looked like she might cry, but she held it back. "How many humans are on this station?" Hannah asked. 5, Gina answered. "Including me. Are they treating you well?" Hannah asked. "They are afraid of us," Gina said honestly. "But they have not hurt us. They give us work and food and shelter." "They should be afraid," Hannah said darkly. She turned to look at the council members on the other side of her cage. "They attacked my camp without warning. 47 armed soldiers against me and my 2 team members. We were scientists. We were studying plant samples." Gina translated for the council. The council members shifted uncomfortably in their seats. "We did not know," Varen said. "We thought the creatures were wild predators. The planet had no signs of civilization. We were in a temporary camp." Hannah shouted. "We had a ship parked 2 kilometers away. Did you not scan for technology? Did you not try to communicate before attacking?" Varen looked at the other council members. None of them spoke. Hannah laughed, but it was not a happy sound. "You saw humans moving through a jungle and assumed we were animals. You assumed because we could survive on a death world that we must be mindless killers. The planet was classified as a death world," Khalif said defensively. "The gravity was high. The temperature was extreme. The wildlife was lethal. How could any intelligent species survive there?" "We are from a death world," Hannah said. "Earth. Our planet has extreme temperatures. We have predators that can kill us. We have diseases and natural disasters and 1,000 ways to die. But we survive because we are adaptable. We are smart. We work together." She pointed at the council members with both hands. "You attacked us because you were afraid. My team members fought back because that is what anyone would do. We did not want to kill your soldiers. We wanted them to stop. But they kept coming. They kept shooting. So we fought harder. What happened to your team members?" Gina asked quietly. Hannah's face went dark. "Minho died on the 2nd day of fighting. They shot him 37 times. Suji died on the third day. She held him off so I could escape into the jungle. I survived alone for 2 weeks before they finally captured me. They used gas, knocked me unconscious. When I woke up, I was in this cage. Gina translated everything. The observation room was completely silent. One of the 3 scientists was shaking. "We need to release her immediately," Gina said. "This is a mistake. A terrible mistake. She's not a monster. She is a soldier who defended herself. She killed 47 of our people," Thorin said, "after you attacked her first." Gina shot back. "What would you do if someone attacked your camp? Would you not fight back?" Drenth, the Cloth Council member, clicked his mandibles thoughtfully. "The human makes a valid point. We did attack first. We assumed hostility where there was none. But the creature, the human, is still dangerous," Khalith argued. "Look at her. She killed trained soldiers with her bare hands. She survived on a death world alone for weeks. She is an apex predator." "Yes," Gina said simply. "She is. And so am I, so are all humans." The council members stared at Gina. She could see the fear growing in their eyes. "Humans are from a death world," Gina continued. "We evolved to survive in terrible conditions. We can run long distances. We can throw objects with deadly accuracy. We can plan and strategize. We can work together in groups. We heal from injuries that would kill other species. We can eat almost anything. We can survive in extreme heat and extreme cold. We are endurance hunters. We are persistence predators." She pointed at Hannah in the cage. "You look at her and see a monster. But I look at her and see what humans can do when pushed to the edge. You took everything from her. Her team, her freedom, her dignity. And still she survived. Still she fought. That is what humans do. We survive." Vorin stood up slowly from his chair. His purple markings had gone pale. "All humans are like this?" he asked. "All humans can be like this," Gina said. "When we need to be." One of the scientists pulled up data on a screen. "The file says Earth sent 5 humans to work on this station as a cultural exchange. We thought they were weak. We thought they needed protection. You let predators live among you," Khalith whispered. "Apex predators. And you never knew." "We are not monsters," Gina said firmly. "Yes, we can be dangerous. Yes, we can fight and survive in ways you cannot imagine. But we choose not to. We choose peace. We choose cooperation. That is what makes us intelligent, not animal." She turned back to Hannah. "But when you attack us without reason," Gina said, "when you cage us and treat us like animals, then you see what we can become." Hannah nodded slowly. She walked to the edge of her cage, as close to Gina as the energy field would allow. "I do not want to be a monster," Hannah said quietly. "I want to go home. I want to mourn my friends. I want to leave this cage." "We will get you out," Gina promised. She looked at the council. "You will release her, now." "We cannot simply release her," Vorin protested. "There are procedures, forms. The council must vote." "Then vote quickly," Gina said. Her voice was hard. "Because I promise you, if you do not release her, the other humans on this station will hear about this. And Hyan is waiting outside right now. And when Earth finds out that you caged one of our soldiers, that you killed 2 of our people, there will be consequences." "Are you threatening us?" Khalith asked. "I am explaining reality," Gina said. "You attacked humans. You imprisoned a human. You need to make this right." Drenth clicked his mandibles again. "She is correct. We made a grave error. We must correct it before it becomes a diplomatic incident." The council members talked among themselves in their own languages. Gina waited. Hannah waited. The minutes stretched on. Finally, Varun spoke. The council will vote on immediate release, Varun said. All in favor? 4 hands went up. Only Caliph kept her hand down. The measure passes, Varun said. The human prisoner will be released into the custody of the human community on this station. We will provide compensation for her suffering and arrange transport back to Earth for her and any humans who wish to leave. Gina felt relief wash over her. She looked at Hana and smiled. You are going to be free, Gina said. Hana smiled back. It was tired and sad, but it was real. The scientists began working on the controls. Slowly, the blue energy field started to fade. The cage that had held Hana for 97 days began to open. Hana took a step forward. Then another. Then she was running. The observation room door opened and Gina ran too. They met in the middle of the hangar bay and hugged each other tightly. 2 humans. 2 apex predators. 2 survivors. Thank you, Hana whispered. Thank you for seeing me as human. Always, Gina whispered back. Behind them, the council members watched silently. They were beginning to understand what they had really allowed onto their station. Not weak workers who needed protection, but humans. True humans. Apex predators who chose peace but would always fight for survival. The human quarters had never held 6 people before. The rooms were designed for 1 person each, small and efficient. But now all 6 humans crowded into Gina's room. They sat on the bed, on the floor, at the desk. Everywhere they could fit. Hana sat on the bed with a blanket wrapped around her shoulders. She had showered 3 times already. The medical staff had checked her and found bruises, malnutrition, and signs of stress, but nothing permanently damaged. Physically, she would recover. Emotionally would take longer. Hyan had brought food from the cafeteria. Real food this time, not just protein paste. He had somehow gotten fruit and bread and even some kind of soup. Hana ate slowly, savoring every bite. Gina sat next to her, making sure she was okay. The other 3 humans asked questions carefully. They did not want to push too hard, but they wanted to understand what had happened. Minji, who was 26 with short black hair, spoke first. So the council really thought you were an animal? Yes, Hana said between bites. They never tried to talk to us. They just attacked. They saw us moving through the jungle, saw us hunting for food, and decided we were dangerous wildlife. Taiyang, who was 31 and the oldest human on the station, shook his head. That is insane. Did they not notice your tools? Your equipment? We were wearing field clothes, Hana explained. We had knives and collection bags for plant samples. Maybe they thought those were claws and natural features. I do not know. They never gave us a chance to explain. Yuna, who worked in medical and was 24, touched Hana's arm gently. I am so sorry about your team. Minho and Suji, did you know them well? Hana's eyes became wet, but she did not cry. Minho was my partner for 3 years. We had done 12 planetary surveys together. Suji was new, only 6 months with the team. She was so excited about this mission. She said the plants on that world were unlike anything she had ever seen. The room went quiet. Everyone understood the weight of those losses. Hyan broke the silence. What happens now? The council released you, but do they understand what they did? I think they are beginning to, Gina said. They are scared. Really scared. They realize they have been treating us as weak refugees when we are actually apex predators. We are not just predators, Minji said firmly. We are people. We are complex. We are more than what our bodies can do. They do not see it that way yet, Gina said. To them, we are suddenly dangerous. They look at Hana and see someone who killed 47 soldiers. They look at us and wonder if we could do the same. Could we? Taiyang asked quietly. Everyone looked at him. He met their eyes calmly. I am serious, Taiyang continued. If this station was attacked, if someone tried to hurt us, could we defend ourselves the way Hana did? Hannah set down her food. Yes, she said simply. Any human could, with the right training and motivation. I was a soldier before I became a scout. I had combat training. But even without training, humans are built to fight and survive. It is in our nature. But we choose not to, Yuna said. That is important. We choose peace. Do they understand that choice? Minji asked. Or do they just see us as bombs waiting to explode? No one had an answer. The next day, the station was different. Word had spread quickly about what happened in Hangar Base 7. Every alien on Unity Point now knew the truth. The humans were not weak. The humans were apex predators from a death world. When Gina walked to breakfast, the corridors were more empty than usual. The few aliens she passed did not just move away from her. They pressed themselves against the walls, making themselves small. A Valkyrie mother actually picked up her child and ran out in the cafeteria. A space had formed around the human table. Not just the usual empty table next to theirs. Now 3 tables in every direction were empty. The humans sat in an island of isolation. Gina got her food and sat down with the others. Hana was there too, wearing a borrowed uniform. She looked better than yesterday, but still tired. This is worse than before, Minji said quietly. Before they ignored us. Now they are terrified of us. Give them time, Taiyang said. They need to adjust to the truth. What if they decide we are too dangerous? Yuna asked. What if they ask us to leave? Then we leave, Hana said. Earth will take us back. There are other stations. Other opportunities. But I like it here, Yuna said sadly. I liked learning about alien medicine. I liked feeling like I was part of something bigger. Gina understood. She had felt the same way. For 6 months, she had hoped that eventually the aliens would accept humans. That the fear would fade. But now it had only grown stronger. After breakfast, Gina was summoned to the council chamber again. This time, Hana was invited too. They walked together through the corridors, and aliens fled before them like water parting. The council chamber looked the same as before, but the mood was different. The council members sat stiffly in their chairs. Armed security officers stood at every door. The tension was thick enough to cut. Varn spoke first. We have called you here to discuss the future of human presence on Unity Point. Gina felt her stomach drop. You are asking us to leave. No, Varn said quickly. Not exactly. We are proposing new protocols for human integration. Calith pulled up a document on the screens. We have drafted new rules for humans on this station. You will be restricted to certain areas. You will have curfews. You will be monitored at all times. You will not be allowed to gather in groups larger than 3. You will submit to regular psychological evaluations. You want to treat us like prisoners, Hana said flatly. We want to ensure everyone's safety, Calith said. By taking away our freedom? Gina asked. That is not safety. That is fear. Dranth clicked his mandibles. You must understand our position. We have allowed apex predators to live freely among us. We did not know the danger. Now that we know, we must take precautions. Precautions against what? Hana asked. She stood up from her chair. The security officers tensed. I have been here for 1 day as a free person. Have I attacked anyone? Have I hurt anyone? Have I done anything except eat and sleep and mourn my dead friends? You killed 47 soldiers, Calith said. After they attacked me, Hana shouted. I was defending myself. That is not the same as being a threat. Please sit down, Varn said nervously. Hana remained standing. She looked at each council member in turn. "You want to know if humans are dangerous?" Hannah asked. "Yes, we are. Every human has the potential for violence. We can kill with our hands. We can plan attacks. We can work together to take down threats much larger than ourselves. That is what made us survive on Earth." She placed her hands flat on the table and leaned forward. The council members leaned back. "But you know what else humans can do?" Hannah continued. "We can choose. We can decide to use our strength to build instead of destroy. We can decide to use our intelligence to create instead of harm. We can decide to work with other species instead of against them. That choice is what makes us worthy of joining the galactic community. But what if you choose violence?" Calith asked. "Then you stop us," Hannah said simply. "The same way you would stop any species that chooses violence. You do not punish us for what we might do. You judge us by what we actually do." Gina stood up too. "We have been on this station for 6 months. We have followed every rule. We have done our jobs well. We have caused no problems. Why should we be restricted now just because you finally understand what we are?" Voren looked at the other council members. They had a quiet conversation in their own languages. Finally, Voren turned back to the humans. "You are right," Voren said. "We are acting from fear, not logic. But you must understand, this is new to us. We have never encountered a species like humans before. Every other species we know became less dangerous as they became more intelligent. They gave up their predatory nature. But humans kept both. You are intelligent apex predators. That combination frightens us." "It should," Hannah said. "But fear should make you cautious, not cruel. Work with us. Get to know us. Let us prove that we can be trusted." Drank clicked thoughtfully. A trial period. 6 more months. During this time, humans will continue their work with no new restrictions. But we will observe more carefully. We will learn. If there are no incidents, then we will fully accept humans as equals on this station. And if there are incidents, Gina asked, then we will revisit these protocols, Voren said. That it was not perfect, but it was better than being caged. Gina and Hannah looked at each other and nodded. "We accept," Gina said. The meeting ended. As Gina and Hannah walked back to the human quarters, they walked slower than usual. They were tired of being feared, tired of being misunderstood. "Do you think it will get better?" Hannah asked. "I do not know," Gina said honestly. "But we will keep trying. That is what humans do. We adapt. We survive. We keep trying even when things are hard." Hannah smiled slightly. "That is why we are apex predators." "No," Gina said. "That is why we are human." 3 months passed slowly on Unity Point. The station continued its normal operations, but nothing felt normal anymore. The humans worked their jobs and lived their lives under the constant watch of security, cameras, and nervous aliens. Gina noticed the small changes first. In the cafeteria, the empty space around the human table had shrunk from 3 tables to 2. In the corridors, some aliens no longer pressed themselves against the walls. They just moved aside politely. In the work areas, a few brave aliens had started talking to the humans again. Short conversations about work. Nothing personal. But it was progress. Hannah had decided to stay on the station instead of returning to Earth. She said she wanted to honor Minho and Suji by finishing what they had started. She wanted to show the galaxy that humans could be trusted. The council had given her a job in the Botanical Research Department. She worked with plants now instead of surveying planets. It was peaceful work, and she seemed to need that peace. One morning, Gina was repairing a wall panel in Corridor 9 when she heard a small voice. "Excuse me?" Gina turned around. A young Velcron stood there. She was small, maybe a juvenile. Her blue skin was bright, and her forearms clutched a datapad nervously. "Yes?" Gina said gently. "My name is Kira," the young Velcrin said. "I am a student. I am writing a report about humans for my school. Can I ask you some questions?" Gina felt surprised. In 3 months, no one had directly approached her like this. "Of course. What do you want to know?" Kira's skin flickered with excitement. "Is it true that humans can run for many hours without stopping?" "Yes," Gina said. "We evolved as endurance hunters. We can run slower than many animals, but we can run much longer. We chase prey until it gets tired." "That is amazing," Kira said, typing on her datapad. "And is it true that humans can throw objects with great accuracy?" "Yes. Our shoulders and arms are designed for throwing. We can throw rocks, spears, anything really. It helped us hunt from a distance." "Do all humans know how to fight?" Kira asked. Jina thought about how to answer. "All humans can learn to fight. Some train specifically for it. Others never fight in their whole lives. We have the ability, but not everyone uses it. Like how I have 4 arms, but I do not use them to climb trees," Kira said thoughtfully. "I could, but I choose to use them for other things." "Exactly," Gina said with a smile. Kira asked more questions. About Earth, about human culture, about what humans ate and how they lived. Gina answered everything honestly. Other aliens walking past stopped to listen. Soon a small crowd had gathered. An older Threen spoke up. "Is it true that humans form strong emotional bonds?" "Yes," Gina said. "We bond with family and friends. We feel deep loyalty. We protect the people we care about. That is why the caged human fought so hard," the Threen said. "She was protecting her team members." "Yes," Gina said quietly. "Hana was protecting her friends. She was protecting herself. That is what humans do." A Qualoth in the crowd clicked thoughtfully. "We have been afraid of the wrong thing. We feared your ability to fight. But the real power is your ability to care. You fight because you love, not because you enjoy violence." Gina felt something warm in her chest. Understanding. Finally, someone understood. "That is exactly right," Gina said. "We do not want to be monsters. We want to be friends. But we will fight to protect the people and things we care about. That is the human way." The crowd dispersed slowly, but Kira stayed. She looked at Gina with her large eyes. "I was scared of humans before," Kira admitted. "Everyone at school said humans were dangerous. They said we should avoid you. But you are nice. You answered all my questions. You do not seem dangerous at all." "I am dangerous," Gina said honestly. "If someone tried to hurt you right now, I would defend you. I would use violence if I had to. But I choose not to be violent unless necessary. That is the difference." Kira nodded slowly. "I think I understand. Thank you for talking to me." "Anytime," Gina said. That evening, the 6 humans gathered in the common room. It was a shared space that the station had provided after Hana joined them. It had comfortable chairs and a large window showing the stars. They often met here to talk about their day. Gina told them about Kira and the crowd. Minji shared that a Threen coworker had invited her to lunch. Taiyang said that another engineer had asked for his help on a difficult problem. Small things, but important things. "Things are changing," Yuna said. "Slowly, but they are changing. The council is noticing too," Hyan added. "I heard Vorin talking to another council member yesterday. He said the human trial period is going well. No incidents. No problems. 3 more months," Hana said. "Then they will decide if we can stay permanently." "We will stay," Minji said confidently. "We have proven ourselves." But Gina was not so sure. She had seen the progress, but she had also seen the fear that still existed. Some aliens still avoided them completely. Some still looked at them like bombs waiting to explode. 2 weeks later, something happened that would test everything. A fire started in the engineering section. An electrical malfunction caused a power conduit to explode. Flames spread quickly through the corridors. Alarms blared throughout the station. Everyone was ordered to evacuate to the safe zones. Gina was in her quarters when the alarm sounded. She grabbed her emergency kit and ran toward the safe zone in Sector 4. But as she ran, she heard screaming. Someone was trapped. She followed the sound and found a Velcrin family trapped behind a collapsed bulkhead. The father was trying to move the debris, but it was too heavy. The mother held 2 young children close. Smoke was filling the corridor. "Help us!" The father cried when he saw Gina. Gina did not think. She ran to the debris and grabbed the largest piece of metal. It was hot and heavy. She pulled with all her strength. Her muscles screamed. Her hands burned. But she kept pulling. The debris shifted. Not enough. "Help me!" Gina shouted. The Velcrin father grabbed another piece. Together they pulled. The debris moved more. A gap appeared. "Go," Gina said. "Get your family through." The mother pushed the children through the gap. They squeezed through and ran toward safety. The mother went next. Then the father. Finally, Gina crawled through just as more debris fell behind her. They all ran together toward the safe zone. Behind them, fire suppression systems activated and the flames began to die. The station's automatic systems were working. When they reached the safe zone, the Velcrin family stopped. The father looked at Gina. His skin was dark with emotion. "You saved us," he said. "You could have run to safety, but you stopped to help." "Anyone would have done the same," Gina said. "No," the father said firmly. "Many would have run. You chose to stay. You chose to risk yourself for people who have feared you and avoided you." "Why?" Gina looked at the 2 young Velcrin children. They stared at her with wide eyes. "Not fear, curiosity." "Because that is what humans do," Gina said. "We protect. We help. We care. That is our nature, just as much as our ability to fight." The mother stepped forward and touched Gina's arm gently. "Thank you. Thank you for showing us who humans really are." Word of the rescue spread through the station faster than the fire had spread through the corridors. By the next day, everyone knew. The human had saved the Velcrin family. The apex predator had chosen to protect instead of flee. The council called another meeting. All 6 humans attended this time. Varn stood when they entered. "The trial period was supposed to last 6 months, Varn said. "But the council has voted to end it early. We have seen enough." Gina felt her heart sink. They were being asked to leave, but Varn continued. "We have seen that humans are indeed apex predators. You are strong and fast and capable of great violence. But we have also seen something more important. We have seen that you choose kindness over cruelty. You choose protection over destruction. You choose community over isolation." He gestured to the other council members, who all stood. "On behalf of the Galactic Council and Unity Point Station," Varn said, "we formally welcome humans as equal members of our community. You will have all rights and privileges of any other species. The monitoring will stop. The restrictions will end. You are free to be yourselves." Gina felt tears in her eyes. Beside her, Yuna was crying openly. Minji and Taiyang hugged each other. Hyan put his hand on Gina's shoulder and squeezed. Hannah stood with her hands at her sides, but her face showed emotion, relief, hope, peace. "Thank you," Hannah said. "Thank you for giving us a chance." "Thank you," Varn replied, "for showing us that predators can have hearts. That strength can be gentle. That danger can be kind." Drenth clicked his mandibles in agreement. "We have learned much from humans. You have taught us that evolution does not require us to abandon our nature. It requires us to master it, to choose when to be fierce and when to be gentle. Calith spoke last. She had been the most fearful, the most resistant. But now her voice was softer. I was wrong to fear you simply for what you are, Calith said. I should have judged you by your actions. You have shown us that being apex predators does not make you monsters. It makes you survivors. And the galaxy needs survivors. The meeting ended with handshakes and gestures of respect from each species. When the humans left the council chamber, they found a crowd waiting outside. Aliens of every type lined the corridors. As the humans walked past, the aliens did not run. They did not hide. They simply nodded.